Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about how overcoming fear is a lot like learning how to swim. Now, if you already know how to swim, just pretend like you don't. But I like this analogy and I thought of it one time because I was just really frustrated with myself. I was letting fearful thoughts overcome me. I was thinking of scenarios of failure constantly, and I was just like being really hard on myself. I was like, man, why can't I get this? Why do I keep fearing these things, knowing that fear is just false evidence appearing real? Like, it's not even a real thing, and the only thing that makes it real is my thoughts. And I was really frustrated with myself, and then it just came to me like, fear is really like, overcoming that is like learning how to swim. And so when you're learning how to swim, right, let's say that you're an adult and that you've never learned how to swim before, and so now you're going to learn how to swim. You would not go out on a boat in the middle of the ocean at 12 p.m. midnight in pitch black with no life jacket and just jump in and say, okay, this is how I'm going to learn, right? You would probably die in that scenario. You would probably drown, you would freak out, you wouldn't have any of the basics down, right? As opposed to maybe taking a swim class, maybe going to a pool and just sitting in the shallow end and getting used to the feel of the water, right? And I know that sometimes things in life, or people argue that most things or everything is binary. And I would argue that too, I guess. But I also like this different perspective shift because it's like, I don't have to just fully jump in. Like, if I fear something, if I have fearful thoughts, or if I'm afraid of something, I don't have to fully 100% come face to face with that, especially if I don't feel like I'm ready, right? Because the odds of me drowning in that scenario are high. But more so if I take steps each day to get to a point where this fear is no longer something that scares me and it's something that I'm able to overcome, I feel like that's a lot better too. And again, apply this to any situation. It might not be every single fear that you have, right? There might be some things where you need to jump in the water and you need to feel what it's like in order to succeed, and that's fine. But I feel like a lot of the times we're just so hard on ourselves. We're like, why am I thinking this? Why am I doing this? Why do I feel this way? I shouldn't feel this way. Why am I scared of this? I already know that it's not actually as scary as I think. Why can't I just get over it? Why am I still thinking these thoughts, etc., etc.? And I want to use this analogy as a way of saying, like, be gentle with yourself. Like, if you were going to teach someone how to swim, once again, ask yourself, if I'm going to teach someone how to swim, if I'm going to think about the best way to help this person overcome this fear, I'm not going to throw them in the middle of the ocean at midnight. I'm not going to send them out with no life jacket. I'm not going to tell them the foundations about learning how to doggy paddle first and learning how to wade in the water and getting used to the feel of the water. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is be gentle, and I'm going to be understanding, and I'm going to take steps in the right direction to get them to where they need to be, right? So kind of think of it like that in that perspective. It's not, you're not a failure simply because you can't face your fears 100% head on all the time, no matter what, every single time. That doesn't make you a failure. What makes you a failure is if you stop trying. What makes you a failure is if you accept defeat, right? What makes you a failure is if you tell yourself you're going to do something, but then you don't do it because you're scared. You don't even get in the water. You don't even get on the boat. You don't even try. Okay, so that's all I have for today. Pretty short video. I just really wanted to share that analogy because it helped me in a moment where I was being really hard on myself, and I was thinking of all the things that I can't do and that I couldn't do and that I haven't done. And you know, I think that analogy just helped me realize, like, it's okay to take baby steps sometimes. It's okay to go into the shallow end a little bit, to dip your toe in the water, okay, to get used to the feeling at the very least. Okay, so if you can think of sorry, if you can think of a situation in your life where you feel like maybe instead of taking the all or nothing approach, maybe I can just take a step-by-step approach and that might be better, let me know below. I would really love to hear what you have to say. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts about the video, about the analogy, about fear, about everything. Just let me know. All right, thanks. Bye.